Ding dang diddly do.
Ding dang do.
How we doing?
You dug Dimmadome? Dimsdale Dimmadome?
Yes.
So what we have here is a bottle of Balvenie Peat Week.
Peat Week.
I believe now they market it as the Week of Peat.
The Week of Peat.
The old bottle is the Peat Week.
The Peat Week.
This is a 2003 distilled, 14-year aged bottle, and I believe I got this either right when it came out in 17 or early 18. And it's been in the house. It's close to a dreg now. So I thought, well, before I finish it, since we've recently had a number of peated whiskeys, why not share this, talk about it, and see what we think of it, especially for a Balvenie, which typically doesn't do any peating.
Nope. All right, sounds cool. I like it. I'm into it.
They had a gap in their schedule. They realized they had a full week of production, and they produce a peated whiskey for 1 week a year.
By the way, I like the bottle. It almost has like a smoky quality to it.
It's a smoked bottle, like the
really
bottle's been peated.
Like it's like black. Yeah. Like when you like blow out a candle and you get that little black. It's almost like that. And I like that the even the topper, and you could show the cork after. The topper is a little bit also black.
Topper's dark. The actual paper that they had wrapped at the top is also a darker color.
I like the theming.
They've done a nice job with it.
I like the theming. So you pour, I'll read real quick.
You read real quick.
So this is about this actual bottling. The Peat Week 2003 vintage, aged 14 years. The Balvenie Peat Week, aged 14 years, is the result of trials undertaken in 2001 by the Balvenie maltmaster David C. Stewart, MBE, and our former distillery manager Ian Millar. Although it's probably like Millier or Malure because it's Scottish and, they got to mess with you.
It's probably still Miller.
Good God, you're going to finish it?
Well, it was a drag.
Oh my God, come on, squeeze it out. Give it a squeeze.
Come on, there's something still in there. Finish reading.
Pretend it's 11.
Finish reading.
All right. At a time when few Speyside distillers were using peat in production, the Balvenie decided to distill a batch of heavily peated malt, which was laid down to mature at the distillery in Dufftown, Scotland. I'm going to skip the part where they tell you about the stuff, but it is not Isla meat. It's not island meat. It's from
it's
from the
peat.
Highlands.
Right? It's Speyside peat.
It says Highland peat.
Oh, Highland peat?
I don't know exactly what that is, but
peat.
I'll get to the final paragraph. The Balvenie Peat Week, aged 14 years, is a single vintage bottling, limited and rare by nature. What's the ABV on this one?
48.3.
Okay, same thing here. Actually, this is about the 2002, but I think it's the same. This non-chill filtered expression is bottled at 48.3 ABV and matured solely in American oak casks, providing a velvety and round taste with woody peat smoke balancing oaky, vanilla, and honey. I'm all in.
And it's aged for all 14 years in American oak barrels.
Nice.
So they don't do anything besides put it in a barrel.
Slangeva.
Or since it's chimney smoke, long may your lum reek.
There you go, we could do that. The color is really in this light, it's very golden with like a little orange to it.
It's a nice honey color to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Cure for what ails you.
Whoa, that smells good.
You know it's a Balvenie, and you bring it up to your nose and you go, I don't think this is a Balvenie anymore.
No, it's not super peaty though.
No, but just the fact that it's peated at all. We're so used to having the double wood or the Caribbean cask, which are both fine table whiskeys, and then to try something like this.
Speaking of honey, when we go back to the honey, I get almost like a clover honey smell to it.
Yeah.
But like a smoky honey, if that's a thing.
Yeah, and like a barbecue. Like you get the barbecue sauce where it's like a honey barbecue.
So how like the beekeeper goes around with the smoke to control the bees? I'm thinking like that smoke infiltrated the honey.
He's using a peat pot to go in.
Maybe. I don't know. What kind of smoke do they use? I don't know either.
Maybe it is peat.
But it's very, very like honey. Honey and vanilla.
And once you get past...
And a little bit of smoke.
Once you get past the peat, you get a little bit of the vapors from the 48.3% ABV. And then you get a lot of the typical, whiskey smells. You get a little toffee, a little sweetness. Yeah. You get a lot of honey.
It smells really, really good. But so it's like they did their usual thing, but they just added a little bit of smoke to it.
No, I think they use peat to dry the barley all the time.
Okay.
And then I think they just went...
for this batch?
I think all the time. I think they use a little bit of peat to dry their barley. But I think for this particular week, they heavily peated everything to crank it up to, a certain level of phenols or the ppms. They're not an octomore, but they're maybe approaching a Lafroig or something. Something out of the ordinary.
There's like a note that I can't quite place. Almost like raisiny, maybe?
Yeah, almost like the like a French vanilla, French apple pie.
Yeah, maybe.
Like the French apple pie, like that kind of
Like a
caramelized,
smoked apple.
like the cinnamon, the apple, the raisins.
That's possible. It smells lovely. I like it. I like the color. The color's a little. It's almost got like a funky, different color to it.
Yeah, I was looking for one last night, and I said, I haven't had this in a while, and I picked the bottle out and said, "Ooh, we're nearly done." So I poured myself off some and said, "Let's do this tomorrow, and we can talk about it since I don't think we've talked about it before."
Yeah, but like I said, I like what they did with the bottle. It's the usual Balvenie shape, but it's got that little bit of extra
And
to it.
the marking itself, they have the calendar on the side for 2003.
Oh, to say what week
For when
it was?
they had their weeks running through for how they put this together and what their free time was, and you can see the whole calendar of their whole schedule for malting and distilling. And this is labeled as 34/52, which I guess the 34th week of the year is the week they made this. That was their down week. So,
Oof, that's got some heat.
I had a nice healthy pour this last night, and it has a good peat flavor. It has a good ABV going, so the heat itself is there. The finish is really nice. There's a lot of sweetness. It's really like a barbecue.
Yeah, kind of.
You almost get like a.
But I still get that honey.
You almost get like a honey barbecue.
Like
you
a-
almost get
like
like a hickory honey barbecue kind of flavor to it.
Yeah.
Where that particular, it's roasted over that wood, and then they slather it with a honey flavored barbecue sauce.
But it got some spice to it too, like some sweet chilies.
Yeah, like a barbecue
Yeah,
sauce. It's
yeah.
like a nice honey barbecue.
But again, different from what our dear friends in Isla would do, where it's like they took the smoke and they poured a little bit of barbecue sauce on it, and you get the ash and all that stuff. You don't get that with this.
Yeah, and we've had other stuff that tasted more like scrub oak or mesquite. This to me is like a hickory kind of like that's a honey barbecue to me.
Yeah, it's a spicy honey.
It's just really really good.
That is very very nice. It is a little sweet though. Like on the end, I get like a sweet vanilla sugar.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's really very nice. And again, for a Balvenie, it's something out of the ordinary because you typically don't get heavily peated whiskey from them. So I saw this and I thought, I'm going to finish it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And the packaging checks all the boxes for me.
Yep.
It's pretty shiny packaging. The whiskey itself, I think, is a really good whiskey. I think it's probably bottled at the right ABV for us. If this went a little higher, it might be too much alcohol. If it was lower, like at 43%, it might not have the
Just remember one thing: there is never too much. There is only not enough.
There's only not enough. I think.
Wait, one more. Sink your teeth into the ass of life.
I apologize to everyone.
Hey,
anyone.
I didn't say it. Ian Holmes said it, and I didn't write it. Stanley Tucci wrote it.
More importantly, the late Ian Holmes.
That's true.
To Ian Holmes.
Cheers to him.
The Big Night. Is that right?
I like that movie. But anyway,
Just a really good whiskey.
yeah, it is. It is.
Really good whiskey. And again, I don't know that I've had anything from Balvenie that wasn't a really good whiskey.
No, I don't think so either.
They just make a good, well-rounded whiskey.
I really like the aftertaste.
Yeah, it's got a great finish.
The finish is really good.
And the finish, it's flavor, not just heat. So it isn't like it's burned your
But
esophagus
again,
the whole way
it's like
down.
a smoked honey in the on the back end.
It's a really nice whiskey. It's a really nice whiskey.
I mean, honestly, seriously, I couldn't give it less than like I wouldn't go lower than an A- on this.
Yeah, I'd say this is a 90 to me.
Yeah, I would agree. That is just really, really nice.
So, cheers to Balvenie for and David Stewart and
Yes.
Ian Miller and whoever else comes up with these
Is
brilliant
it
ideas.
Miller? Is it Miller?
I go with Miller.
Miller? Okay, fine.
And now it's the week of Peat because they dressed up the bottles and changed the picture and the name. But it's a fantastic idea. And at 14 years and 48.3%, they made themselves a fine whiskey.
Cool. I give it an A-.
Yeah.
Sir?
Slush.
Slush.